And just like that, it's Friday. Do you know what the date is, don't you? Whew. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. What does that mean? Nothing. I don't think it means anything, do you? Do you think it means anything? Are you superstitious? No. Neither am I. Touch wood 50,000 times. As you can see, there's no Phil Dave today. So if you're a Phil Dave fan, I can only apologize. And the reason is, well, Rupert wasn't happy with the shine on his car last week. What can you do? So Rupert has said, you'll come in. I want to see my face in those hubcaps. Phil's gone, okay. No, Phil's on a completely different shift at the big grown-up radio station. So he, hello, Rosemary Jessup, you wonderful person, you great tipster of horses, most of which are still running from some time ago. Rosemary's amazing. I follow her with great interest because whatever the weather is, it's wrong because she lives under a tin roof. Why she lives under a tin roof, I've never understood, but she lives under a tin roof. And also she was a big shot agent. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing a sweater. I can't believe it. We're in early September and yep, back in the sweaters. Yeah, there we are. It is what, how many of you are thinking, I don't want to live in the United Kingdom anymore? Anybody feeling like that? Are you feeling that, no, do you know what? I've had enough. I want to go somewhere that's a little bit sunny, not California because they're mad, but somewhere that's a little sunnier, a little warmer, a little kinder, with a government that isn't trying to arrest you for thinking in the wrong way. Did I just say that aloud? I did. I don't care. Now, two things. One is, yesterday, something happened that you have to file, I'm going to read it out, under irony, because it's just genius, right? There is a woman called Diana Johnson. You've probably never heard of Diana Johnson. I hadn't heard of Diana Johnson, to be perfectly honest with you. She is the police and crime minister, not the prime minister, the crime minister, right? The police and crime minister, Diana Johnson. It was either yesterday or the day before. So our police and crime minister, Diana Johnson, is attending the police superintendent's conference. And what happens? She gets her purse nicked. It's fantastic. She actually had her purse stolen while she was at the police superintendent's conference. I mean, you couldn't make it up. I thought that was terrific. I thought file under I for irony. It's beyond parody. I was also enjoying the pictures of David Lammy, the what is he, the foreign secretary? It was Graham Pack. It wasn't so super for her. Well, she wasn't paying superintendent. She wasn't in. I can't do the gag. I thought there was a gag there, Graham. I'll be honest with you. I was digging for it and I can't find it. I can't find the gag. So that's the end of that. But it's brilliant, isn't it? What a world we live in. And well done for letting all the prisoners out of the prisons. Well done for letting all those people out, some of whom were rearrested within minutes. Couldn't make this up. It's just completely madness. Now, the other thing I want to say was a bit of a proud dad moment for me. And I was sworn to secrecy, but I'm very proud about it. I'd be very, very proud about it. So my daughter, Lauren, has two podcasts now. One is called The Self-Care Club, right? And the other one has just started. It started this week. It's called 40-ish. So I knew about this for ages, but I had to take the vow of omerta because I wasn't allowed to talk about it. Anyway, Lauren gets a phone call. Hello, it's Fred Smith here from Apple Podcasts. And she goes, yeah, I'm thinking it's a joke. We would like to make you the spotlight for the whole of September. Now, if you don't know, This is the Holy Grail. This is like opening a barn door and finding a 1955 Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. This is what every podcaster could only dream of getting the spotlight. What it means is when you go onto Apple Podcasts and just browse, the very first podcast anywhere in the world that comes up is my daughter Lauren's. I was like, wow. So her numbers have gone through the roof. I'm absolutely thrilled about it. So I really am. And there's something I want to talk to you about it. Anyway, so it is, it's to be their, what do they call it? Their number one spotlight choice. Their number one spotlight choice. That means, as I said, when you browse on Apple, the very first podcast that comes up is Lauren, right? And then I thought, well, that's good for the existing podcast, which is the Self-Care Club. They launched this week the new podcast called 40-ish, and that went not half pod pickers, all right, straight in at number 10. Went in at number 10 under the society and culture. There's there are all different divisions of this, different sectors, so you can find out what the heck you want to listen to. I have no idea where Walk the Talk, the hero's journey is, probably under society and culture. Anyway, globally, she's number 10. Wow, with the brand new podcast. So I'm really thrilled. Which leads me on to talk about this. Rosemary Jessup said some nice things. Let's just put that up and discuss that in a nice way. Brilliant news. Thank you, Rosemary. Talent certainly runs in the family. Well done, ladies. Well, I'm eating her dust. She's leaving me for dead, and I am so proud of it. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that Grand Pack in a second there. Kimi Lashmar. No, I've got to do it properly. Kimi Lashmar. Kim Lashmar says this. She says, I don't understand how people can find the time to listen to all these podcasts. Well, they do, because a lot of people, when they're commuting, or they're traveling or they're walking the dog, that's when they do it. That's when they listen to all of this stuff. When I walk the dog, well, I'm using the word walk in its widest context. What I mean is when I drag the dog, Jesus. Right. I was looking up the other day, and it came up on one of the mini Schnauzer sites. The average age is 10 to 14. That's kind of it for a Schnauzer. She's 15 and a half, pushing on 16, right? And her entire life is weeing and pooing wherever she wants and eating. And then eventually she go for a walk. The walk is so slow. I have to take myself off from my own walk, because otherwise I'm just dragging along. So that's when they listen to these things, and they're hugely popular. Somebody like Joe Rogan, etc., is enormously popular. But what I wanted to ask you was this, all right? Because sometimes when I talk about the success of my kids, which I do rarely, I don't mention the others, but Lauren in particular, because it's much more public, and I'd love to help. People say, and I forgot to say, oh, are you jealous? Are you jealous? And I thought, what a weird thing to say about your kids. How many of you are just thrilled when great things happen to your kids? That's what you want, isn't it? You're passing on the baton. You're handing over the torch to them. We've all worked ourselves stupid. Most of us are still working. My dream was to retire when I was 40. How's that going, Russell? Not too well, but I'm working harder than ever. But I love what I do. So some of it's work and some of it's just a joy. But I never understand, and Kimmy is agreeing with me, oh, absolutely, that you want the best for your kids. What you don't want is, I don't understand it. But I've met people who are kind of sour about their kids' success. And I think, God, that says so much about you. And even when I was asked the question, were you jealous of your kids' success? It's like, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that they've found their métier. They've found the right thing for them. That, they're all doing stuff that they're apparently, very good at. And I'm thrilled for them, whether they're over in Texas. So no, I never see them. Or they're up in the Midlands, because you're doing the work there in the automobile, doing all that stuff. They're busy and they've got their own lives, and that's it. So my work is done. I think, kids get to a certain age and your work is done, but you're always their dad, you're always their mum, and if they need you. So I never that. Right, let's go back to Mr. Graham Pack. And it's this. Maybe Lord Ali could buy, it's B-U-Y, by the way, Graham, B-U-Y, David Lammy some proper shoes. Yeah, this is it. This is our, well, the thing about that, Mr. Pack, and I tell you what astounded me about that picture of our Home Secretary wearing a suit and some old trainers. He's wearing a suit on business with some dodgy old trainers, right? I was amazed he could tie up his own shoelaces. Frankly, I was stunned. I thought he'd have to have slip-ons, extra wide. I don't care. I just don't care. Anyway, the point that Graham, our viewer of Graham Pack, our listener as well, is making is that Lord Ali, for reasons best known, and one doesn't want to look into it too deep. No, we want to look into it very deeply. Keir Starmageddon, two-tier. They changed his glasses, his clothes and everything. And Lord Ali seems to be the guy who's either advising or paying or advising and not paying. I don't know. And I don't particularly care. But anyway, that's his thing, and his hair color and all the rest of it. Seriously. So maybe the point that Graham Pack is making is that David Lammy, he's going, I think he's meeting Biden, whoever is pretending to run America at the moment. We all know it's BlackRock, but whoever's, and he's wearing trainers. Really? You're the Home Secretary? How he got that job, God only knows. But anyway, there we are. So feel free to comment. I absolutely agree with you. Proper shoes. Do you feel, this is a serious question now, do you feel, because if I asked Phil Dave this, he'd go, I can give a monkeys and I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And I admire him because he's actually very brave. But do you feel constrained? Do you feel under this new regime, that we seem to be lumbered with for the next 5 years, if it lasts 5 years, to be perfectly honest with you, the way things are going, I'm having my doubts. Do you feel constrained? Do you think you could get a knock on the front door? We didn't like what you said and we're shoving you off to jail. There was a guy that I'd see his comments. I've never met him. I don't even know his real name. And it was on Twitter, and it was called Sick of It. That was the Twitter handle. Handle kept me so down with the kids. And it was called Sick of It, right? I think he's banged up for 3 years. Now, I read his posts because they would come up on my feed. There was nothing. I mean, it never said go out into the street and shoot somebody, or it never said, burn down a specific building. It was never like that. And somehow this guy has been banged up for 3 years. 3 years. But hey, walk down the street with a machete, not a problem. Get on the tube armed with knives and swords. Why not? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I'm not going to make a whole political show, all right, because like you, I'm sick to death of it. I'm sick to death of their stinking interference, their po-faced, humorless approach to life, trying to restrain everything that people want to do. Taking away the winter fuel allowance was disgusting. What was more disgusting? And the interesting thing was, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, if you thought to yourself, do you know what? I don't need the winter fuel allowance. I'm okay, thank you. Let me send it back, which is a decent, honourable thing to do. There was no mechanism to do that. You couldn't go online and go, yeah, I don't want it, but thank you very much. Very grateful. Give it to someone who needs it. No, couldn't do that because they didn't have the. Oh, well, Alex. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm going to be very, very careful because I really don't want to be arrested. Thank you very much. I've got things to do. Alex Belfield. What that was his name. I write to Alex. Alex is banged up for something like, I think it's 8 years, think it's 8 years Alex Belfield got done for. I'm not going to go into it because it's probably highly litigious. But Alex had he was ex-BBC and then he was radio. Hello, Robert Van Buren. Hi, how are you? How are you? Horologist to the stars. Not a proctologist, a horologist. Don't get that confused, because one thing you don't want is a cuckoo clock shoved up your ass. It wouldn't be great. Although at the top of the hour, it might be quite amusing. What the hell? Alex Belfield then started his own YouTube channel, which he did quite literally on an iPhone from his kitchen. Literally, that was his show. It was him in his kitchen doing a YouTube channel. And he got something like well over 300,000 subscribers. Hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watch this show. And then I'm not going to get into why. He went to trial on 8 counts. 4 he was found not guilty of, 4 he was found guilty of, and they threw the book at him. Well, I've never met Alex Belfield. I've never met him. Never been in the same room with him. But one day we did speak on the phone. And it's always very interesting how people have a public persona and the real persona, the private them. So sometimes, and I've said it many, many times, you know who it is. You know who it is, don't you? Hello, Stalin. Good to see you. Francois's photos that she puts up of people she worked with and the movies she's done and stuff like that, just fantastic. It's lovely seeing your posts every day, Francoise. It's life enhancing. Anyway, I was talking about public and private, and any of you who've been agents like Rosemary Jessup, and Francois has been in the business for years, and even myself or Phil Dave, sometimes you meet someone who's a national treasure. They're so lovely. They're a national treasure. They're absolutely, when the camera's closed, they are vile. Some of the most hot, I'm not going to name names, but some of the most horrible, aggressive, entitled jerks you have ever encountered. But they're a national treasure because they can turn it on and they're so lovely. They're not lovely at all. It's all a horrible act. And some people who are meant to be just ghastly, and you meet them with great trepidation, and you meet and go, what a lovely man, what a lovely one, absolutely charming. And it's not an act because they don't want anything from me. I'm of no use to them. You know what I mean? I'm just like a punter if I met them. And they're just really, really nice. So it's all a matter of perception. Now, as I said, I once spoke to Alex Belfield, and the case was a very big deal. And he was so different on the phone to his public persona. He was very quiet, quite shy, and deeply, deeply worried. And he said, do you think I'm going to be found guilty? And in my stupidity, in my naivety, I said, well, look, because he was absolutely cacking it. I'll be honest with you, he was cacking it. He was putting on a very brave face, but they'd gone out of their way to make sure he went down for a very long time. And I said, well, I think the worst that would happen, even if you're found guilty, having looked at, because it was all in the papers and all the transcripts were available and all that sort of stuff, I said, if you're found guilty, I reckon maybe you get an 18-month sentence, suspended. Yeah, nobody died, right? Nobody died. And they banged him up for, I think, 5 or 8 years. My memory's not great. 5 or 8 years. And I was like, holy God. So, I've written to him a few times in prison because it could happen to anybody. And certainly under this government, it could absolutely happen to anybody. So I think if that happened, God forbid a million times, to me, God forbid a million times. And, people wrote and just said, It was just a letter. It was just a chit chat, by the way. It was nothing special. But I thought, well, the guy, and it's really interesting. It's interesting that he says, well, I get better dental care inside than out. I get 3 really good meals. He said the food's terrific. And he's not in some lightweight prison, by the way. They didn't even do. I thought, well, it'll be an open prison. It'll be like a white collar crime. No. And of course, the thing that never gets into the paper, it's never discussed, is the effect on his family. Now, you might be screaming, and I understand that. Well, what about the effect he had on the other people for the crimes he was ultimately committed with? But the effect on his mum and dad, the effect on his sister, hadn't occurred to me. I'll be honest with you, because you just think of these people in isolation. Graham Pack. Until the budget, we don't know how financially screwed we are. Oh, they're just gonna absolutely rinse it. They're going to rinse it. Now, what I don't understand is this, and I am not a financial genius. There's this mysterious £22 billion, and they keep saying black hole. Whatever question you ask, what's the time of it? £22 million black hole. Is it going to rain today? £22 million black hole. No one knows what this £22 billion black hole mysteriously is. God only knows. I think we need Professor Brian Cox or somebody like that. I don't know what the hell it is. But if you're so desperate for money, right, that you take away the winter fuel allowance for people who've paid tax all their lives, the elderly, hello, all right, that would be me. If you do that, but you can give billions in some bullshit scheme of climate change in Africa or something, it's not different money. It's the same money. It's coming out of like one pot, right? That's not, but this is madness. This is absolute madness. There are billions being just peed up the wall for things that people in Britain have no benefit from. None at all. Miliband's swivel-eyed ideology about climate change, right? And we're all doing our little bit. We're putting out the recycling bin. Go to China and go to India, have a chat with them. Would Greta Thunberg do that? Would she? Hell. Professional idiot. Anyway, it's like, yeah, Françoise Pascal is saying the same thing, and me. No, I know you're making a joke, Graham Pack, but when Alex comes out, he won't get a council house because he didn't arrive in a rubber boat. He's a legitimate British citizen, right? Rosemary Jessup, don't get me started on that. Worked all my life, paid taxes and NI, national insurance, all these years. For what? It's a terrible con. A terrible con, and we are being fleeced. The next thing, and I've been saying this for several years on this show and the earlier incarnations of this show, they will bring in pay per mile for driving. It is guaranteed. They've got the technology to do it. What do you think the ULEZ cameras are for? What do you think, right? Pay per mile technology will come in. What does that mean? You want to pop to Lidl, Tesco's, you want to pop down to Aldi, you'll pay for that. Average people can't bring weekly shopping. It's like that's what you got a car for. All right. They will bring that in. They hate motorists. And that lends itself to the belief of the 15-minute city. And you know what that is? You'll never need to travel more than 15 minutes. Why is that? So they know where you are. All of this seemed impossible. All of this seemed impossible until lockdown. And lockdown, whether you believed in the causes, you didn't believe in the causes, that's down to you. I'm not going to be prescriptive about that. But it showed you can control the entire population within a few weeks. It showed that you can put everybody under what is really house arrest in just a few weeks. I don't think we'll ever see the truth about that. Not in my lifetime. I'll be long dead, because they would keep those papers under wraps for probably 25, 30 years, I would imagine. So we'll never know fully what was in the vaccines. And I had 3 shots. I had 3 vaccinations. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, don't have the vaccine because it's got, what's his name? Bill Gates has got nanobots crawling up your veins and all this crap. No. Oh, well, this is exactly. So it can be done. Graham Pack's point is this. It's a very good point. If a lot of the insurance companies say, oh, we'll give you a discount if you put on one of our black boxes in your car. Black box is really telemetry. So it records everything in the car. What they will do to do pay per mile is they'll make us put black boxes in our cars to track us, so they know exactly where you're going, and charge us. Now, the thing that they don't tell you, the insurance companies, when they say, oh, we'll give you a discount if you put a black box in, you think, well, I'll get a discount. That's okay. No, you get notifications and emails. We don't like the way you're driving. I'm not making this up. We don't like the way you're driving. You're braking too hard. You're accelerating that. Oh, there was a 30 mile an hour speed limit. You went 32 miles an hour. We're going to increase your. This is what they do. This is what they do. Endless control. Françoise Pascal says this. If I knew when I was younger that I would be taxed on my meager pension, I would have retired to France. Absolutely. And I got to say, when I think of the winter ahead, and I think of the budget coming, and I think of these clowns who really don't know what the hell they do, I really think, do I want to be here anymore? I love my writing. I can do from anywhere. This I can do from anywhere. I love my celebrant work. I've got celebrant meetings this afternoon. I've got celebrant meetings on Sunday. Got a lot of stuff coming up. I can't do that from abroad, but it'd be a small price, kind of a small price to pay, because wow. And the other thing, and Phil and I talked about it last week, I always thought that there was an opposition party. So when the Conservatives were in for 8 million years, or whatever it was, the opposition party was Labour. Okay. Where's the opposition party? And the other thing is, are they saying anything? No, the only person who's speaking up is Nigel Farage. And of course, they do all their am-drabs. Oh, boo, whoa, ha, 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 and all this crap every time he speaks, because they know that the points he's making are really hitting home hard. Now, if I showed, and I'm not going to because I don't know who they are, if I showed you photos of, I think, the 3 remaining candidates who are running to be leader of the Conservative Party, but didn't have their names on them, could you name them? Could you name the people who are standing to lead the Tory party? I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I saw this the other day. They had pictures. I thought, who the hell are they? I have no idea who they are. Not a clue. Here we go. This is coming in, exactly backing up what Graham Pack and I were just saying. When I had a black box, I received a "you're braking too hard" notification. I responded by telling them in future I'd brake more lightly if they were prepared to pay for the damage caused bumping by hitting other cars and vice versa. Bloody right. Absolutely right. You know, this is the thin end of the wedge. You know it, right? Kimi Lashmar agreeing with me, which is sweet. No, you couldn't name anybody who's running to run the Tory party. Right, neither could I. François Pascal, I love this country. They will never leave it. It has my family here. And to see my grandchildren growing up is magic. Well, yeah, I guess. Anyway, interesting. They also said they weren't bothered about me breaking the speed limit. What the bloody hell? I don't know. God knows. Who knows? Insurance. What a con. What an absolute con. Alexis, you made it. Top person. Alexis Parr. Hello. I got a very sweet message from Alexis, and I said, I think this is the way to do it, and about viewing the show and everything. And she made it. That's great. Hi, I hope you're having us. Yay, indeed. Yay, indeed. Alexis Parr. A powerhouse of a person. Now, you know her. I can see she's going, You know her. You love her. While I've been talking for the last 30 minutes, she's been in the huge Winnebago trailer that I send round every Friday with the hair and makeup department from Fox Studios, as it happens. Fox Studios, same people who do the Gutfeld show. And oh no, Alexis, signal not brilliant on train. The next train will be leaving. Please enter from the forward carriages, as this is a short platform. Soon the buffet car will not be open. There we go. You know her, you love her. She is fabulous. She is our very own screen queen. She sees everything with an erudite, expert, professional eye. Chantal Rickards OBE.
Hello, Blossom. How are you?
Blossom? My God. My God, I'm excited. I'm excited by that. Has a zing. A zinger. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Back in the sweat. So I've told you everything you need to know.
Oh.
Back in the sweater. Because I only ever wear t-shirts and hoodies and my jeans, but no, sweaters today.
It's been a bit cold. I am refusing to turn the heating on.
Everybody is saying, you're quite right. Everyone's saying, sod that. I'm freezing cold. I'll put on extra sweaters. I am not putting on the heating in the beginning of September. With months
That's
ahead
what sweaters are for.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Anyway, you look great. You look marvelous, as you always do.
Bless you.
Yeah, well, thank. Yeah, all okay. All
just
yeah.
checking.
Yeah, well, you don't want to hear the truth. The truth is ghastly, so I'm just going to say, yeah, I'm all right. Not really, but anyway, there you can pretend. Now, your mate, who writes the crime shows for Grace,
yes,
now set in Brighton,
James, who I saw last Friday. Sorry not to be here last Friday, but I was down at something called the Goodwood Revival. If that.
Oh my God! It's the best. It's the best weekend. It's the best ever.
Well, that's where I was. And Peter James, who writes the Grace series, was racing his 1960 Chevrolet or something like that.
Yeah. That's not very specific, is it?
I'm not very good on the cars. But it was very wet. That's all.
Did you dress up for the Goodwood?
I did dress up. Yes.
What era did you go at? Something from the 50s, I hope.
No, 60s. I think you're allowed to dress up to something like 1966. So I did a sort of.
That's right on the edge.
Yes,
seriously, that really is.
Yeah, sort of. Merry Christmas.
Let me explain very, very, very quickly. Goodwood has two fantastic events in the year. One is the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which is unbelievable. If you're a petrol head, it's just fantastic. I can't stress how wonderful it is. And then they do a thing called the Goodwood Revival meeting.
Yeah.
The Goodwood Revival. Everybody dresses up in period clothes because you can only have cars there from up to, it's something like 64, 65. It's something like that. Like 65 is the cutoff point. The racing is door handle to door handle. It's just wonderful. And to see millions of pounds worth of classic Ferraris being driven for the way that they were designed, not pootling up the King's Road with somebody from Saudi Arabia, revving his engine. So you look at him and he's 12 years old. No, racing, proper racing. It's just fantastic. The atmosphere, the sheer joy of it it's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
It was very wet. And when I say very wet, I mean it was torrential rain
that's
all
horrible.
day.
That's horrible.
So I had my Mary Quant dress on with Wellingtons and a big umbrella. And didn't see an awful lot. It was just everybody was crashing into each other with umbrellas.
Is it now every woman will want to know, so I might as well just get it out of the way. Was it an original Mary Quant?
No, it wasn't. It was a dress I found in a charity shop last week.
Oh!
But it was Mary Quant style with big daisies on it. So I bought some big daisy sunglasses.
Tell me something. Diverting slightly. When Mary Quant died, which wasn't that long ago, I don't know, within the last 1 or 2 years.
I remember. Yeah.
It wasn't very long ago. I thought there would be a huge outpouring of love in the media, but it was felt kind of muted. I thought what she did was amazing.
Yeah.
She was.
It was, but I don't actually remember when she died.
Not long ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, in that case,
I can look it up. Chat amongst yourselves, why don't you?
Well, I didn't take much notice of it. I mean, Mary Quant was really before my time, to be honest.
Oh, shut up!
Well, I have 3 big sisters.
Such a... What, suddenly what are you, 31 now?
No, I'm not, but I'm just a smidge younger than you are.
Yeah, let's define
sisters
smidge, like eons younger than me. God damn. You're so much younger than me.
No, only a smidge.
15 exhibitions to the British Museum are younger than me. When did Mary Quant die?
Okay.
Last year.
Oh, was it only last year? Okay.
Yes, 13th of April, 2023. Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't ever
93. Christ.
Yeah.
I always think of her as being like 28.
No, the closest I got to was buying some Mary Quant lipstick, I think, and that was about it.
That was it. But you must have shopped at Bieber. Did you shop at Bieber?
I did, but I was a very young teenager. So I think Bieber had closed by the time I was 14 or 15. So I remember going maybe once or twice as a teenager.
I'm beginning to hate you, Chantal. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I'm getting the bloody nerves suddenly. Grandpa, the Queen used to have see-through umbrellas with edging on them that matched her outfit. And Grandpa would like to know, did you have the same?
No. I had a sort of crappy umbrella I found in the boot of my car.
With the word little.
Yeah. Well, no, we did. We spent the whole morning going around Chichester trying to find those see-through umbrellas. And they had literally sold every umbrella at Chichester. So we ended up with the crappy ones from the boot.
Yeah, well, that's all right. You open the boot of my car, it's just 300 umbrellas in there. It looks like an umbrella sale. Anyway,
back to Peter James.
Yes. Back to what?
Peter James, because you started talking.
I did. Anyway, yes, I. Oh God. Oh jeez. More pills. And a large vodka. Now, yeah, Grace. John Sim, marvelous actor.
ITV.
Loving the stories on Grace. It's on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock, ITV, I think it is. And jolly good. Really like it.
I think this is series 4. Pete, in fact, I've just been invited to Peter's new book launch, which will be his 20th book. He's a very prolific writer, but he's getting through the stories really quickly on television. So I think he's going to have to speed up his output. But no, he solidly brings out at least one book every year. They're so well researched.
I wonder if he was making a self-reference, because in last week's there was, I'm not going to do any spoilers, don't worry. There was a magician who was working, he'd given up being a professional magician. And he said, I made the mistake. I did my act on television. And of course, I could never do it again because everyone had seen it. I couldn't do the touring. And I wonder if he was doing a slight self-reference of, well, once you've seen my story, are you going to read the book? Don't know, just a thought. Just a thought.
Well, no, I think it's the other way around, that it sort of works. If you work in telly and publishing, you know that publishing helps telly and telly helps publishing. So it's a rising tide. They both succeed.
I've had great news with my current book this week. Great news. Yes, I'm throwing away 85,000 words and starting again.
Oh, Russ.
I am. It put me into such a depression. I really, it upset me so deeply.
So are you serious?
The book was finished last December, and it's been going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I love the story.
Yeah.
It needs amending. I absolutely love the story and everything like that. And now it's been decided, no, what you got to do is this. And I'm like, really? I really don't know if I can be bothered, to be honest with you. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, anyway, what have you been watching apart from Grace, which is great?
Well, because I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, there has been a ton of telly that I've caught up with, but also it's the time of the year when people are sort of, they've got a few big blockbusters up their sleeve, which they bring in September. So August was difficult. I was struggling to find some nice new stuff.
But you did, because you're such a pro.
Well, there are lots of channels, but I mean, there's more stuff to watch at the moment. Lots of great things, including something that is very badly misnamed called The Perfect Couple. It is the new blockbuster on Netflix. It's a 6-part series with gorgeous Nicole Kidman, who you know I know, who is gorgeous.
Hang on, whoa.
No, well...
Whoa. You know Nicole Kidman.
Well, yeah.
And yet, of all the times I have been
she's
to
not
you for dinner, have I ever sat next to Nicole Kidman? No. I sat next to Mrs. Patmore.
No, she's not. She's not a buddy.
Oh.
She is. I have worked with her professionally in Los Angeles, and she's an incredibly nice woman. So I have met her.
I've met her.
Yeah. No, she's terribly nice. But no, we're not on the sort of terms where I could invite her around.
Of course you could.
Chips at my house.
Of course you could. You could say, Russ is coming. She'd go, oh, I'll be there straight away, mate.
Well, anyway, in The Perfect Couple, which has just come out on Netflix, she plays a Brit. She plays a British writer who is massively successful, and she is married.
J.K. Bowling. Is it J.K. Bowling she plays?
J.K. Bowling. No, she is married to the fabulous actor Liev Schreiber, who I love.
Oh, I love him. He's great. He's good. Yeah,
very gorgeous.
Good.
And they are supposed to be the perfect couple, but clearly once the ball starts rolling, you realize that somebody's having a laugh, because there is no such thing as the perfect couple. It's the night before a wedding. It's Nantucket on the east coast of the eastern seaboard of North America. Yep. It's by the 4th weekend. There is a marriage in the house. The son of Nicole and the Liev Schreiber characters is getting married the following day, and da-da, there's a body that is found on the edge of the water the following morning, and all goes wrong from there. But it's fabulously.
No, she's frozen.
It is total nonsense. Utterly bingeable. Utterly bingeable. So you just, fabulous house. They're all super rich. They're really interesting characters. But basically, it's a sort of nonsensical piece of drama, but it just sucks you in. And I literally watched 6 episodes back to back. I could not stop watching.
Good God. Well, Graham Pack's with you. He says, I've downloaded the series for my trip to America in a week's time.
Yeah, but it's twaddle. I have to say it's twaddle, but I love a bit of twaddle.
Is it like Knives Out and Glass Onion? Is it like a bit like that? Because that's twaddle, but it's fantastic.
It is a mystery. It's a detective. Well, the detective and the character is, the local copper who thinks, hang on, something's badly wrong here. And it plays out very well over 6 episodes. There are backstories to every single character. There's obviously a lot of naughty stuff that's been going on in the past.
Yay!
Exactly. It's directed actually by a woman called Susan Beer, who's a Danish director who did The Night Manager, which was on.
Oh my God, I loved that.
Yeah. And she's a very good director.
That still haunts me, The Night Manager. I thought that was one of the best things I'd seen in so long. Hugh Laurie was incredible in that.
Yeah, it is coming back. I'm almost sure it's coming back, unless I've completely
missed it. What? Night Manager 2, the musical.
Well, not a musical. I doubt there's going to be a musical. I don't know if Tom Hiddleston can dance.
He can dance very well. Are you kidding? Have you seen Tom Hiddleston dance?
No.
Tom Hiddleston is an incredible dancer.
Are you having
joking aside? No, I'm being absolutely serious. Tom Hiddleston's an amazing. No, he's a fabulous dancer.
How do you know this strange fact?
Because I don't have a life and I watch things. I tell you why. There was well, you used to organise them yourselves when you get all the cast of a show, and they do a Q&A in front of a big live audience, and then someone said dancing, and Tom Hiddleston just stood up and did the most sensational dance routine. I mean, seriously, you can find it on YouTube. It's great. And Françoise Pascal is backing me up and saying, as only she can in her France way, sexy dancer.
Interesting. Oh, well, I will look it up on YouTube.
No, look it up. He just gets up and he busts some moves, as we kids say. He was terrific. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a very good dancer.
Bit of a shapeshifter on the dance floor. Very good.
Yeah. He's the man.
Okay.
So that's called The Perfect Couple on
It's called The
Netflix.
Perfect Couple. It's on Netflix. It's had a lot of money spent on it.
Right.
It looks amazing. It starts, there's a weird dance sequence, bizarrely, at the beginning of it and at the end. So the opening title's a big dance sequence with every character dancing on the waterfront. And then the same at the end. And rather strangely, at the end of the final episode, you see a character that you don't recognize. And in fact, I recognized it as Susan Beer, who is the
I thought you were going to say Susan Boyle for a minute.
No, it's the director, the Danish director, appears in the dance sequence.
A Hitchcockian appearance.
Hitchcockian appearance. And then all the cast sort of, slap her on the back and things. Anyway, it's just a throwaway. Nobody else would know, mostly, who she was, but I recognise
you would.
I've interviewed her. So it was a funny moment. But anyway, it's
I spoke to the person at the checkout till at Lidl yesterday.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm just trying to keep up with you. You spoke to you've chatted to Susan Beer and Nicole Kidman, but I'm just trying to show I know people.
Yeah, but I was in Lidl yesterday.
And when the checkout wasn't working, he came up and he helped me.
Oh, the checkouts at Lidl drive me absolutely
Christ almighty!
nutty.
What the hell? It's like I'm not putting a Kalashnikov through, or the Tsar bomber. I'm putting, like a pint of milk or some crap, and yogurt, and it.
I think we might have lost our audience.
No, they get it. They get it. They get it. Right. What else have you found?
Okay.
Fabulous ways.
I found the coziest of cozy dramas. You. Did you ever watch The Good Wife?
No.
Oh, well, actually, it was a very good series created by Michelle and Robert King that was massively successful. It had various spin-offs. It had The Good Fight, which was the spin-off that came out of it. But this is about lawyers in Chicago. And then there is a character in it played by Carrie Preston, who is a lawyer in the original thing. And she plays the title character of this TV series called Elsbeth, Elsbeth, Elsbeth. And she is plucked out of Chicago and she lands in the homicide department of a New York police department, where she is supposed to be there because there have been bad things going on in the police department. And she, as a lawyer, criminal lawyer, is there as a sort of independent watcher of things that are going on. But she becomes basically, I think, a character that we're going to see on television for years and years and years to come. She's a sort of modern day Columbo. She's been a criminal lawyer, but now she's suddenly with the homicide team, and she is going to work out all the homicides right from the get-go. And it's very nicely done. She plays this sort of slightly scatty, I'm a bit crazy, I dress.
Oh dear. Oh, I can't bear that. It really annoys me straight away.
You get used to it very quickly, and she's an adorable character in it.
Okay.
And I think you'll like it.
That's my caring face. Did you like it for a second?
Yeah,
you see it?
Not bad. But no, seriously, I think you'll like it. It's on Sky, so you will be able to find it on one of your channels somewhere.
No, I won't.
No, you will. And but basically, they could in this series they tell you who the criminal is right from the get-go.
Oh, like the Columbo things, the same deal with the
yeah.
With the Columbo things.
Yeah, you know where you're going with it. I mean, that's why it's so easy to watch, because it just drags you along very gently, and it's got humor, and it's nicely paced, and it's well written, and it's called
Elsbeth.
Elsbeth,
is that right?
Yeah, it's not going to change the world, but it'll definitely pass the odd hour here.
Unlike this show. We are a beacon of light in a sea of darkness.
No, it's a lot funnier than this show.
Easy.
I think
easy there, Mary Quant. Take it easy.
No, I promise you'll enjoy it. It's very cozy crime.
Okay. Oh, well, look at this. Now, this is coming in. You may well know Alexis Parr. Do you know Alexis Parr? If not, you have led a sheltered life.
Alexis, say it again.
Alexis Parr. You can see her name on the screen now, Chantal.
I know, but I'm
And
not looking at the screen.
I don't think she's seen the show ever before. And she says, "Love your show." Thank you, Alexis.
Oh, how smashing.
It was very nice. I think the last time I saw her was at Cigar Smoker of the Year Awards. I think that's when it was, Alexis. And we were sitting very close to each other, and somebody was unbelievably rude to you. A complete stranger. We didn't know who she was. She was an absolute cow of the first order. And she was ghastly. And Alexis and I were recovering from her total rudeness to strangers. Horrible.
Well, I went to a reunion last night and saw an old girlfriend I hadn't seen for ages, and she was having a quick cigar out at the front of the bar.
Excellent. We like her.
I know.
We like her a lot. What was it? Was it a school reunion? Was it a
No,
Bieber? I only went there once because I was so young reunion. What reunion was it?
It was a sort of 10-year reunion of an advertising agency that I used to work for, where I made television programs for brands.
Okay.
Full of lots of young, vibrant people. And then
I hate them. I don't want to hear any more about them. Bastards, young with their youngness and their vibrancy. Screw them.
I know, but it was lovely. And we went back to the old bar that we always used to go to, and lots of nonsense, but it was lovely. It was really, really good, actually. There were 50
and did you, let me ask you this, did you enjoy going back, or is it like, I've moved on? No, I just ask, sometimes you can't go back.
No, I quite like reunions. I'm quite good at keeping contacts going across my entire career.
Well, you and Nicole Kidman. Whoa.
No, I think I'm still in contact with friends. In fact, the girlfriend I went to stay with a couple of weeks ago sat next to me she had the desk next to me in my very, very first job in 1981 or 82, something like that. And we're still really close friends. It's lovely. I love all that stuff.
When I lived in America, we had desks in those. It was proper, like offices,
Yeah.
And at my next desk was a guy. When I told my twins, who don't give a monkey's what I do, because whatever I say is never of any interest, and I couldn't impress them if I said I was the first person to land on the moon. They wouldn't give a shit. So when I said I sat next to, for years, Avi Arad, they went raving mad and didn't believe me. And I said, yes, I knew Avi. We would hang out in America. We had the desk next to each other. We'd see each other at weekends. We were together all the time. And if you don't know who Avi Arad is, he went on from advertising to become probably one of the most powerful movie producers in Hollywood. Every single Marvel film from day one was Avi Arad. You look on the credits.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's the only time I've ever impressed my twins. Ever.
And have you ever looked him up again?
I tried. I tried. It would be lovely to say, hello. Do you remember 800 million years ago when we worked together in America and on the East Coast? He was a lovely fellow.
Amazing.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Anyway.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm going to look him up. I don't know his work well.
Oh God, look him up. You'll phone me later today, and you go, "Oh my God, him!" And I'll go,
"Oh, okay."
Yeah. Right. If I said to you, I sat next to Jerry Bruckheimer, it would be of the same level.
Well,
kind of same level as Jerry Bruckheimer.
Right. Okay.
Or Don Simpson, back in the day, over Sholem. Right. Okay. Next.
Right. So I found a bit of true crime on BBC 4. But it's done as a drama, but it's based on an horrific story of France's largest, most prolific serial rapist. A nasty man who raped 56 women over 30 years. And this is basically about how they caught him. So it doesn't go into the crimes in that way that you are watching crime after crime after crime, because I don't like that. I like the investigation stuff. Yeah. And it's an extraordinary story of how the investigation was basically completely fouled up year in, year out. But eventually new techniques came along to try and establish a person's identity, and different people come and go in the story across the 30 years. The key character, in fact, is the woman who gets raped right at the very, very, very
Oh.
beginning. And then you see her at the trial at the end. The acting is phenomenally good. I mean, it's an unbelievably good cast. They're French. It is in French. And it's very, very well done. It's quite slow. It's very sensitive. And it's an extraordinary story. But the minute you know the story, because you know who the guy is right at the beginning, so you want to stay with it just to find out how they are going to catch this guy. And
30 years.
Why is it going to take them 30 years to track him down?
Jeez.
So the title of it is something that is slightly difficult to remember because it's called Sambre, Sambre, which is the name of the region, the river and the region where a lot of these crimes took place in northern France. And then it's Sambre, Anatomy of a Crime, and it's on BBC4. It's a 6-parter. And if you like true crime, it's a very well-made drama that isn't splashy and horrific. It's actually very, very thoughtfully done. And most of the chapters are done around central characters who play lead roles in it, whether they be the victims or the police or the lawyers who are trying to pull it all together. It's a nice piece of work. If that true crime's not your thing, then
it's really scary when you think, it's terrifying when you think that this ghastly excuse of a human being, because there is no excuse ever, perpetrated these crimes for 30 years. It's jaw-dropping, actually.
It's an astonishing story.
And Graham Pack's making, I don't know if you've seen the news, it's such a disgusting story. I'm not going into the details because it is so revolting. I'm not even sure I'd tell you privately. I wonder if a similar program would be made about the trial going on in France with a woman being drugged by her husband, and I'm not doing the rest of it. It's such an appalling story. It's like, what? Have you read this story? It's just, I'm pleased you haven't. It's disgusting. Right. No. Absolutely jaw-droppingly. How ill are you? What the hell's the matter with you, you sick, horrible excuse? Oh, just incredible. It's an incredible story. You can look it up.
Somebody will make a drama out of it because every sort of interesting true crime story like that is immediately, somebody snaps up the rights to the book.
You know what, Chantal? This takes you into the realm of this can't be true. Because if you wrote it or if somebody presented it to you, you wouldn't say, where's the jeopardy? You'd go, where's the dustbin? Because I'm going to vomit. It's so utterly mad.
Yeah.
And horrendous.
Yeah.
And out of the realms of anything that a normal person can, I'm not talking about gruesome, I'm talking about just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
There we are. That's going on at the moment, this particular case.
What the story is, there's a rather sort of interesting part to it, which is about the psychology of the person behind it and all the profilers. Because, a few years ago, you suddenly started getting all these police profilers.
Oh, yeah.
The profilers all say, well, he must be this type of person. He must be a loner. He's this age. He won't be a family man. And basically, all of that was they went down the wrong rabbit hole.
They went down the wrong rabbit hole.
That was not the right profile for this person.
That profilers took a right kicking in the teeth when they were profiling the Washington sniper. Do you remember that of a few years ago? And he was white and he was this and there was that. And it turned out it was a black guy with a young black accomplice, and the young black accomplice fitted in the boot or trunk, as they would say in the States, of the car, which had a hole cut in it, and they would just shoot random people for the sheer hell of it. No particular reason. They just would do that. And they killed a load of people. And of course, the profilers, talk about the wrong rabbit hole, were absolutely vilified after that because it set the investigation back.
Really?
Hugely. Yeah, hugely. Any time for a little tiny quick one?
On a happier, more silly note, it is the today is the last episode, has just come out on Amazon, of the Grand Tour, which is James May, Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond.
Yes.
The original team from Top Gear. This is their absolutely last outing after 22 years.
Yeah.
Going from Zimbabwe to Botswana. I watched it this morning, and actually it's everything that you expect, with a lot of nostalgia thrown in, some sort of wistful, reflective moments, which actually are rather lovely.
Yeah.
Instead
I love those three.
Yeah,
I absolutely love those three. I saw the trailers for it. Is it called One Last Time or One Last
it's
something?
called, well, in that normal non-PC way
Yeah.
that the show is very non-PC, it's called One for the Road, and there's a lot
One
of
for the Well, the one before this, where they went across the Sahara, was called The Sand Job. And I said that very, very carefully.
Well, there's a lot
Chantal
of
Rickards, you are a living legend, and bless you for gracing our screens.
Not at all.
Every Friday. Bless you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Chantal. We will see you very soon. We'll see you in a week's time.
Care.
God bless. Bye-bye. Oh, isn't she great? Just the best. Most charming, knowledgeable person. And she's so low-key about all her enormous career. The huge career that she's had. Well, that's it for another week. I will be back on, God willing, not quite sure at the moment, on Monday with Neil Long and guests. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay out of trouble. Don't post anything controversial, because you won't be able to watch this from prison. Until Monday, look after yourselves. Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.